Almost time to start, ladies and gentlemen. Please prepare yourselves.
Candace warming up. Okay, now Vince is
Hello,
unmuted, so we're gonna roll
hello.
it.
Oh, everything
And
okay?
thank you everyone for. Yep, everything okay?
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this newest episode of The Juice. My name is Vince Delicious, and I'm joined up here by YH. YH, how are you doing today?
Doing good. Already excited for this session. Talking with one of our artsy artists. So I'm YH, one of the co-hosts of the Juice at Junie, and also a part of the community, and also just another another how do I say this
Cog in the wheel.
another individual that enjoys good art.
Oh,
Yes.
for sure, that too. So if you
uh,
guys are
and
joining
we're
us,
joined with our guest, Faye.
oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, Vince,
Hi.
you go ahead with that.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, you're all good. You're all good. Sorry, we're a little bit delayed. Had a bit of a connection issue before, so some of the stuff I had to sort of redo, which is cool. Just in case you guys are joining us maybe later, maybe listen to the recording, or you're not so familiar with Junie, you want to know what's going on. We're a PFP project created by Hex and Studio Rem. Our art focuses primarily on the beautiful steampunk sort of collection by Hex, and our sort of goal here at Junie and Studio Rem is to further and support the cause and works of artists in our space. And speaking of, I did cut off YH really awkwardly there. So sorry, YH, would you like to introduce Faye?
All good, no worries. I was actually gonna let Faye to introduce herself for a bit because actually, yeah, Faye, how are you feeling today? And feel free to introduce yourself for a bit because I don't want to interrupt your chance to get yourself warmer in the official session.
Okay. Hi, I'm Faye, short for Ferena. I'm an NFT artist and I do webcomics. I animate. I pretty much dabble around with a lot of art medium, like pressed flowers, anything I can get my hands on. Nothing is safe. Okay. I don't know how to introduce
I
myself,
love
man.
that. No, I love that. The nothing is safe aspect is great.
Nah,
Everything
yeah,
shall be
nothing
drawn.
is safe. That was a punchline. That was a punchline. That was a good punchline. GG's for
Thank
pushing
you.
your effort, trying things out. Yeah. So with that out of the way, we're gonna start with out. We're gonna start things. We're gonna keep things rolling and keep things going. So, Faye, how long have you been? How long have you been as an artist? This is definitely not asking a woman's age. This is just a disclaimer I gotta mention. I'm just okay. Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean? How long have I been as an artist?
Yep,
Um,
that's right.
a very long time. Uh, actually, on Twitter, you can see that I've been an artist as Verena since 2021, but I've actually been more active um with an older alias, like before NFTs and stuff. Uh,
Oh.
and you won't really find my art on Twitter unless you know where to find it.
That sounds very
Well,
secretive.
actually, you know what?
Oh wait, I
Let's just
remember Van mentioning about this. I remember Van
yeah.
mentioning about this. Van, drop the
It's not
username.
really
Van, drop the username.
it's not really a secret, but my Tumblr is like the oldest place that you can find
Oh
all
my
my
god,
old
Tumblr.
artworks
Oh
basically.
my god.
Yeah. And
That
I
made
it's not a secret, just I don't know, search firina.tumblr.com and you can pretty much find how long I've been online basically. Um if I have to give a year, probably since 2000 something. Uh 12 maybe.
whoa.
I don't really
2000,
know, but I've been active for a very long time. I just I'm
2000
just a very low
something.
key
Yo.
artist.
Yo, 2000 something. That's a lot of work and a lot of years put in. Props to you.
Yeah.
That
Thank you.
s- so since it's been that long, do you perhaps still remember what got you into art?
Um Anime?
we
Oh, he- he's lagging a little bit.
Sorry. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
He is.
Why just
we're gonna
lagging?
talk about anime in a bit later. We're gonna talk about it in a bit later. And since you've been the 2000s, wait, mic test one two.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Carry on.
Yeah.
Okay, I think okay. Since you mentioned anime and you started like 2000 something, I guess it's something like Angel Beats, something like that around those
You
times.
know,
Okay.
you know, I've been around since DeviantArt first started basically, but
Whoa,
um
what?
I was just, looking around and sometimes I would post stuff. I remember the first time I posted an artwork, I was so nervous I actually deleted it after a couple seconds.
Couple
Um, yeah. And yeah, it was mostly because I wanted to draw fan arts. And a Death Note and stuff like that on DeviantArt, and I was like, "Oh, this looks fun. I'm gonna do it too." So basically, that's how I got more into the art community and art world and stuff.
Ooh, wait. For everybody's context, in case if you forgot, because I forgot as well, DeviantArt was founded in August 2000. So Faye is a certified OG for sure. Props to you. And
Yeah, the only problem is I've never
since
really
we
been
got a little
social in social media. So
ah,
yeah, I
but
would
you still got some stuff, bro. Uh huh.
yeah, I would just post art and then dip basically.
That's very Banksy like.
But
I
you
kind of
still
like
got
that.
some stuff rolling, with this one, this webtoon. Like,
Mm,
tell this webtoon, Dreaming of Aurora. Props to you for grinding it up, because grinding from 1 to 100 or even to 1,000 is rough, and but you even got like what, almost 3K followers or subscribers, I should call it, and like
yeah.
that worked from 1 to 3,000. How was it? And there's like
It was
48
it
chapters.
was
Uh
a
huh.
surprising journey for sure. Making a web comic is very time consuming, but it did help with my journey in like improving and also experimenting because my art style in the web comic just ping pongs all over the place because I couldn't figure out what kind of art I wanted.
Yeah, it's a process of exploring oneself. Yeah, that's like what everybody gotta go through that. So you're having using this as a medium to do that, killing two
Hmm.
birds in one stone. That's nice.
Yes, it's definitely um something nice to work on, but I feel like it's easier to work on a webcomic if you have like a part-time job because if you're an artist full time, you either work on the webcomic or you work on something else because, you know, it's hard to like
Mm,
find a balance.
yeah, get everything yeah. There,
Yeah, unless you have like
balanced life, balance is a myth. It's a myth. Balanced life
yeah,
is
it
a
is.
myth, bro.
I lost my balanced life a long time ago. My sleep schedule is still fucked up right now.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. This is the Drain Gang side of things. But by the way, since we're on this, what because I only read like a few chapters, tell us what this story is all about. Because I read only like a few chapters. Introduce us the
So
story for a bit.
technically, my story actually started with Arke. It's like a different one from Dreaming of Aurora. If you click on the username, you will actually see it. No, just
Oh,
on Webtoon username.
um, yeah, on my way.
Yeah,
Oh, all right.
there's that one.
Uh,
That's like the first webcomic I worked on. It was basically a test to see if I can do it. And the characters from Arcade is also the same characters as in Dreaming of Aurora. But the thing is,
oh,
Dreaming of Aurora is technically kind of like a prologue for a novel that I'm writing because this
yeah,
story,
you were writing that, yeah.
yeah, this story is going to take ages for me to finish. And what I really want is to actually tell the story as best as I can. And I think that right now, it's better if I write it as a novel instead of as a web comic because, time consumption and stuff like that. So, Dreaming of Aurora is kind of
Mm.
like the title. You know how in Game of Thrones, it's like A Song of Ice and Fire is the overhead title? So,
Uh-huh.
Dreaming of Aurora is the overhead title, and Arke is actually the very first story that we will be following in the novel. So technically, Arke is more popular than Dreaming of
Uh,
Aurora for some reason.
oh. But yeah, wait. So this, if I'm not mistaken, did both the story in Arcade and Dreaming Aurora are written by you, right?
Yes.
Who, like, being able to write creative stories and draw at the same time? Nah, that's tough. That's tough. Like, it's like like those games where you have like power, like a power meter where there's like a hexagon where there's like different attributes, and you managing to grow in like drawing and writing at the same time. If Oh my god, like if for artists there's like drawing, writing, animation, I don't know what other elements would be, but you got two of even three of those because you've been doing animating these days, been watching your streams. Nah, that's tough. Keep on pushing that.
Oh, thank you,
GG,
thank you.
GG's. And what I'm at it, since you created so many chapters, right? I forgot what was the first. Let me check. You created, yeah, this story was created by you for like almost 2 years. Wait, nah, it's only 1 year. My bad. Like throughout the chapters, right? Like what got you, how do I say this? What are the parts that you like the most while creating, and what are the parts that you dislike when you were creating? Because life, when it comes to creating, not everything is you like, oh wow, I'm so happy creating, that kind of vibe.
Mm.
There is gonna be times where you'll be like, oh, I don't want to do this, that kind of thing. What were they?
So what I really enjoyed was actually writing the script for this because you gotta kind of write the script for everything and also thumbnailing basically just what the webcomic is going to look like, the pages. What I didn't like, and I think a lot of artists are going to agree with me on this, is the line art process. So,
Oh wait, how?
and also
Uh
like
huh. Tell me about it.
typesetting. The line art process and typesetting is like the most tedious task that you can do in a webcomic,
Ooh.
but it's gotta be done. Like throughout the webcomic over there, I've experimented with like trying to get rid of the line art, but it's actually, I started after Inktober, I kind of accepted the fact that I can't live without line art after all, and it like doing line art, getting used to it is uh, will really help you create faster, basically.
Yeah, that's fair. Like when you, I guess when you're creating stories and stuff, when you're not creating something that has a narrative arc, say it's just like the one piece, you can focus a lot more on just how it looks as a single panel. But if you are putting in like dialogue and stuff like that, I assume that yeah, you have to sort of sketch things out a bit different. You have to create this lineup where the text can fit, like where it flows for a reader. Is
Hmm.
that sort of the main difficulty?
Yeah, like you gotta figure out um where you're gonna put the text bubbles,
Mm.
make sure it's not covering the character, and that the spacing of the text bubble is like correct. Because whenever you scroll, webcomic is like a really good form of storytelling, because also like depending on how you scroll, like how long it is, it like gives you a different beat to like
Mm.
how the readers will read the text, right?
Right, right.
So if you're more in like an action-packed scene, you want your text bubbles and your text basically to be closer to each other so that readers can feel the speed and like how nervous the characters are or something whenever
Mm.
they speak or think. And if it's like a slow-paced romance or slice of life, you want the space to be more calming. You know what I mean?
Yeah, actually, that's really interesting. I've never ever thought about like the actual spacing of the characters and the words and the bubbles itself. Like usually when, for example, like a really big action packed scene, like I'll be scrolling really fast. Sometimes I find I
Mm-hmm.
have to catch myself, be like, hey, maybe I should slow down and actually look at the art properly because I'm too busy trying to get to the next scene. But yeah, you're right. Like you can't. I guess you can only like sort of model or like sort of mold your reader to read a webtoon or a manga or a piece of written media a certain way, as opposed to say a video where you have 100% control of the speed at which um, a consumer will look at your stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah.
Because yeah, a lot of the times people don't really look at the art as much as they would as much as artists would want to. Um
Hmm.
and I've been studying like other people how they do webcomics, like professionals, and I see when they repeat, artworks so that they can produce faster.
Right.
It's like
Okay.
a trick in the industry. And a lot of the time casual readers don't really notice it
Mhm.
because they're focused on the text.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Like if there's like a particular like really intricate scene, like I guess like I'm really used to obviously working for Junie, working with artists. I focus a lot on a lot of still pieces, so I'm used to just slowly looking through everything that someone's done, and being like, wow, like all these particular like intricate details are incredible. And then when I'm reading a webtoon, though, it's just very scrolly. And then sometimes, yeah, I do have to stop myself and actually want to look at stuff. But when you say that an artist or artists tend to sometimes repeat some of their scenes, do you mean like they'll swap out characters and like maybe like similar poses, or do you mean as in for effect they'll have the same scene, I guess like 3 or 4 times, so then you can get a sense of the scale of time? Like, how do you mean when they repeat?
Um, they can do both actually, but what I mean is, for example, there's like if a character is just speaking something, and
Mhm.
it's basically just like really heavy dialogue.
Right.
Sometimes an artist will just copy paste the exact uh, drawing and put it in like a different format. Maybe they will zoom in, or maybe they'll focus more on the lips or just the eyes, something like that. Basically, it's just like a trick with the panels,
Hmm.
so that it's like easier for us to work with, basically.
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty. Yeah, I can see that. Like especially like if you do like a lot of textile, like a lot of close ups. Yeah, you'll have a lot of focuses on like, the
Mm-hmm.
face, or maybe like a small change in maybe facial expression between panels. But really, it's kind of like
Yeah.
the same. The same. It's still the same character, of course. um,
Mhm.
and that makes sense because when you produce like a webtoon, so I don't have an experience producing a webtoon personally, but I can kind of guess how it's like where you can spend like 40 hours on one single piece, but a webtoon's made of so many different panels and scenes and stuff like that. So really, it's kind of like producing a like almost like a whole book of art, but
Mm-hmm.
just for one chapter. So, um, what kind of a timeline do you have for creating stuff? Like, do you create stuff within like a month or a week, or yeah, like what's the space between your work?
I'm on hiatus for this webcomic right now.
Mhm.
Uh, because I'm trying to catch up with like other artworks.
Mhm.
But when I was actively doing this, a panel can sometimes take me like 3 hours to do,
Wow, it's
depending on
fast.
how complex it is.
Mhm.
Like simpler panels are one 3 hours. Um, but more complex ones would also take me like 6 hours to do. So basically, I would spend like the whole week just working on one episode, like a one short episode
Mm.
for the web comic, because if it would take long, it would take me, of course, like 2 weeks. You know.
Right, right. Yeah, of course. Like that's it's a lot of detail that goes into it. Like we're currently looking at this one panel that you've got here. It wow, this looks like just a straight up one off piece. I wouldn't.
Yeah, one-off piece.
Yeah,
This is a one-off
Yeah,
piece.
yeah.
Yeah.
it's gorgeous.
Like the
So
prologue, a lot of the illustrations that I use in the prologue is actually a part of like the one pieces in Foundation.
oh, cool.
Um,
Okay, okay. I like that tie-in.
like I got some collectors who has them,
Hmm.
and yeah, they're like the biggest support for actually starting this web comic.
For like, are you collectors? That's really cool. I've never really thought of
Yeah.
it in that sense where you can have people like really really appreciate or really want to support your work and by having some of your art from the series itself.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's cool.
It's
Okay,
awesome.
I like that. No, I like that a lot. Like there's some of the webtoons that I've read. I would totally have picked up like a one-on-one piece or maybe like a character in the series and something like that in support and just to be like, oh my god, look at this. It's so cool. Like the attachment for it for me is really huge. Like I'm a fan of Tower of God, for example, Noblesse,
Mhm.
those kind of series on webtoon. So yeah, that's super cool. I love that. Would you say like when you say that these like sort of supporters of yours that are your collectors, how soon into the creation of the webcomic or the series did they sort of appear? Like, did you draw the pieces? Did you have these collector pieces like first up, and then you had the webcomic, or was the webcomic first and you offered these collectibles after?
I well, technically, I already had the idea for the webcomic like a long time ago.
Mhm.
Um, like Dreaming of Aurora was in the works since maybe 6 years ago, but it
Mhm.
never really mounted too much because I would get distracted a lot.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Uh, like okay, it's like the first step, just again, just to see if I could actually do the webcomic thing, and then I got into a hiatus with Archive because life happens.
Hmm.
And then I got into NFTs and I started selling art, and I am the the text for this uh the prologue is actually also like the text that's in the NFTs itself. So when I actually started drawing the prologue first, and then I announced that hey, it's going to be a web comic
Wow.
basically.
Okay. I get wow. I
So
can
that was
imagine
the
being a
thing.
being a collector of your stuff, and suddenly there's like going to be a whole story attached to the pieces. That must have been very exciting.
Yeah. I don't know how the collectors felt. I'm sure they were stroked because I also told them that since you guys collected this, how how about I put your characters in the webcomic?
Yeah, no,
Like
I think it's
Van
great.
is also in the webcomic, and Morello is also there because they collected.
Hmm.
And yeah,
I think it's,
it's
yeah, that's cool.
yeah. I'm pretty sure I titled their episodes in the webcomic.
Mm. Like after them, and then yeah, no,
Yes.
I think it's cool. Like I think especially at the moment, I think the current state of like if I were a collector, I want to know the stories behind the characters that I have. Like I can definitely appreciate just pure art. Looking at like some of the stuff that we have, for example, like in our quests. I love just looking at the pieces done by like Chu, Kumatmo and stuff like that. But knowing the stories of the characters themselves, maybe what they're doing, what their history is, what their aspirations are, it adds a lot of dimensions to the work that we own. And so, no, creating a
Mm-hmm.
webtoon, a whole webcomic about it is very cool. I'm sorry, I'm very impressed at the moment.
Okay.
When you go
Uh,
forward with like sort of creating like more of the webcomic or more of the webtoon, and more of these characters, um, what's it like sort of dealing with the fact that you mentioned before you both write and draw for it? Like how's the balance between those two like tasks?
well, basically, I would I would draw during my stream time. So my day is usually depending if I'm exhausted or not. Usually in the mornings, I would do like some work on, bookkeeping and trying to uh, make sure my finances are okay, and also doing some web 2 works on the side as a graphic designer. And then
Hmm.
in the afternoons is actually when I draw, and that's also when I stream. And then in the evening, after doing all my course, I would try and work on the web comic. Either I would draw or I would write, and that's basically the whole day.
That is more than a full time sort of hour set of days. A full time day. That's pretty intense. You both have to do like you're your own manager as well.
Basically,
Goodness.
you
Okay, and
gotta do everything if you're an artist, basically.
that's true.
Because you also have to, I also have to like keep up with social media and post on um TikTok and Instagram and Twitter,
mm.
and also try to make sure I keep contact with like everybody, and I don't just, people know that I didn't just vanish from the space.
Yeah, that is a lot. You're right. Like when it comes to like a lot of artists, we've like that we've talked to, it is just a lot of things to do, a lot of things to manage. And there's not too much, I
Hmm.
think, I guess like online or like created tools that help you do this kind of stuff. Like for example, if you're like a video creator, there's like a lot of stuff that you can get that like manages stuff for you. But for artists, I think everyone is so different, or the things that they do are so varied that there isn't like a particular set of tools you can just grab and be like, okay, this is me, and then you let it run itself. You are right. You do need to maintain a presence. Make sure that all of your supporters, they all know that you're still around, even though obviously you haven't gone anywhere. But the stuff that you create takes a lot of time, and it does mean that sometimes you'll be away creating things. I do like that you said that you streamed as well. So like you stream your art on Twitch, is that right?
Yes, yes, almost every day
Oh,
except
oh wow.
Wednesdays
Wednesday. Oh, so
and the
specifically in
weekends.
the middle of the week, you're just like, okay, this is my hump day. I'm gonna just chill out for a little bit.
Yeah, because it's also like, if I don't put um a break in the middle, it feels like a 9 to 5,
Ah,
and
yeah,
I don't want it to feel like that.
that's
Because
fair.
if that happens, I'll probably start getting burnt out. So I need that tiny space to remind me it's first of all to remind me it's Wednesday and it's in the middle of the week, and that the next 2 days I can continue working, and then it's the weekend.
Hmm.
Because if you're working as a freelancer, sometimes you kind of forget what day it is.
No, I definitely understand that. Like, because I obviously work here in Web3 as well. I work on a schedule that's because I work for like for these US based companies. My Monday to Friday is actually Tuesday to Saturday, but I still think in both weeks. So in reality, I don't seem to have a weekend. And because I'm doing a lot of stuff that doesn't hour base, I also kind of go, wow, today is Tuesday. Hold on, what have I done for like the last
I
7
know,
days?
right? I know, right? This is the thing. This is here. This is the thing here.
And like at the moment I am off uni as well, so I especially don't have a grasp of day. So I think it's very important that you do have that Wednesday, and that you don't get burnt out. Art, I'm sure you can attest, is a very passion focused sort of field. So the fact that you've been an artist for so long gives you OG/veteran status. The fact that you've managed it for so long is very impressive. Do you imagine that like you will continue this Wednesday sort of break and working for the rest of the week pattern?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'd probably take like maybe a week off once in a blue moon.
Uh-huh.
The thing is, I'm a little bit of a workaholic.
I can tell.
So when I say,
Yeah.
even though I say on Twitter, "Hey, I'm taking this week off, or maybe this couple of days off, I'll
Mm.
take a break." I'll probably take a break for maybe a day or maybe half a day, and then I'll be like, "Oh my God, inspiration just struck me. I need to draw this. I need to work." It's just, I don't know. It's just if you're passionate about something, it just doesn't feel like work, to be honest. I know it sounds cliche, but it is like that.
No, that's actually that's great. Please continue to have. I hope you do continue to have that. The fact that you've got, yeah, like when inspiration strikes, it has to be committed to paper. I guess like a digital tablet. What kind of stuff do you get your inspiration from these days anyway? Like, is it like you'll go around, maybe you read something or you see something?
Uh, I do tend to read a lot of web comics, and also lately I've been trying to get back into reading uh, books. But most of the time, inspiration really just comes from music videos, or, you know, writing from my story. So that's where most of the inspiration comes.
Oh, okay. So like your head is constantly like brimming, I guess, with more ideas or the storyline continuing, and then so you're like, oh my god, I've had this thing, we're gonna do this, and then you just go and do it.
Yeah. n- Like, for example, sometimes I would just walk my dog
Hmm.
and I'd randomly come up with this idea of like my two characters interacting with each other, and I'll be like, oh my god, I need to write that down for the future. So once you have like a story you're really obsessed with and you want to tell to the world, it's like nonstop inspiration, unless you get burnt out.
Yeah.
That's a different case though.
um. Yeah, like when you walk through, I guess like I'm obviously not currently writing a story or anything, but if you've got such like a detailed world that you want to create building on it and keep working on it, if those ideas are coming, that's liquid gold. That's pretty great. I do have to ask
Hmm.
though, what kind of dog do you have?
Oh, my dog, he's a Yorkshire Terrier,
Oh, cute. Okay,
a
that's very
blonde one.
a what? A blonde one?
Yeah,
That's very cute.
a lot of people don't believe he's a Yorkie because
Yorkshire.
he's blonde.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, usually they're a lot, like a bit like lighter in color, right?
Yeah, they're like black and
Like, and I've seen some white
beige.
ones. Yeah, yeah, beige ones.
Yeah.
Cute. I also like when I'm doing a lot of work as well. I also tend to sit in front of a computer all day, and then I find that I need as well to just step away. Well, I walk my dog as well, and then that's when like my sort of brain sort of disconnects. But I also find that once it disconnects, I think about ideas a lot better. I assume that's kind of
Mm-hmm.
similar for you, right?
Yes, exactly. It's I think it's the form of walking.
Mm.
Um, I would suggest anyone to just walk without your phone, without anything, just walk somewhere without music. Just enjoy the sound of nature or cars honking, I don't know. And
You go. The sound of nature and cars honking is a great comparison.
just I, just let your mind wander, and
Mm.
it like inspiration will come to you.
It's I love that. It's very true. Is that sort of like if you had any advice to give to I guess an artist or a person starting out, creating like a webtoon, webcomic, would that be like your first thing to say, or do you have other things you'd like to add?
Um, First of all, uh, I would suggest once you have your scripts done, because I've talked with a lot of other webcomic artists, and we all have different processes, right?
Mhm.
My process is it's my process is more fluid.
Mhm.
Like some artists, they finish the script from, beginning to end. Um, my script is like from beginning till maybe chapter 20.
Oh, okay. It's like a
Because
very evolving
first of
story.
all,
Mm.
yeah, your story evolves as you evolve, because sometimes a webcomic can take ages to finish. So you will also change. Like um, some of your opinions will change. Maybe your character will change. So a lot of the time, having sticking with a script will not work out. Like
Mm,
it
okay.
will,
Yeah.
you will feel limited first of all if you stick with it, and in the end you'll be like, why am I doing this? Like this doesn't feel like my characters anymore, because your characters also evolve with you.
Mm.
um so I would say, yeah, write the short script. Like make sure you have your outline so that you kind of still have your ideas of how the story will progress. Outlines and script is like two different things. But once you have your script, start sketching everything out. Create at least um, 10 episodes of backlog, because
Oh,
five
wow.
episodes of backlog is not enough. Uh, I had 5 episodes of backlog. That was enough. It wasn't.
You're like suddenly
And now
scrambling,
I'm on
yeah.
hiatus. Yeah.
Fair enough. No, fair enough. I can see that. Yeah, like it's like a buffer, right? It's like
Yes.
sometimes you'll have a burst of activity, and sometimes you're like, I need time for this next section, and then you don't have
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Or sometimes you go on a vacation with your sister to Austria, and suddenly you don't have time to work on the webcomic,
Yep.
and you're a week behind. Or you want to go to a birthday party, so you kind of go
Mm.
so you get behind again. So yeah, a lot of things can happen. So make sure you have a lot of backlog.
Okay, that's definitely noted. Yeah. Uh, we need to provide such a. If you guys are looking to create your own narrative sort of stories around the pieces that you create, especially all the artists here we have at Junie, that is a great piece of advice. Try and give yourself some time with a buffer and a backlog. The next thing I really want to ask you, because I can see here in the stream that YH has put up, there's an Inktober art collection.
Yes, yes.
How did you find Inktober this year?
It was surprisingly good.
Oh yeah, tell me about it.
Because Inktober, a lot of artists will agree with this, but Inktober is very difficult challenge to do, because you basically have to draw every day.
Hmm.
Like some artists will find it easier if they're full time, like me. But if you work a 9 to 5, that's very difficult.
That's very understandable.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it was actually fun for me, because I get to connect with a lot of people again, like other communities. I asked them, hey, can I draw your characters, this and that,
Hmm.
and it was a lot of fun.
Oh, I like that. I do like the community aspect that does come out for Inktober, because we're over on Instagram as well, and just seeing like over the course of the year, everyone posts art, etc., etc., etc. But then during Inktober, groups of artists will gather together and do maybe the same set of challenges, or like a different, like someone else's set of challenges, and then there's a lot of communication and wanting to draw each other, and I really like that. What kind of communities did you reach out to and like draw, I guess, some of the characters?
Well, I reached out to the Junie community.
Hmm.
And also I asked some people from Uwu Crew and Killer GF
Oh yeah,
if
yeah.
they wanted me to draw some of their characters,
Mhm.
and also some friends if they have like, characters they want me to draw. So yeah, it's a nice way to just reach out, because also um if you're if you're doing the Inktober challenge, I think it would be good if you actually not exactly for yourself but also for others,
Oh.
because otherwise you will lose motivation.
Yep. Like you're creating these
Well,
pieces for
Hexing is
someone else.
here.
Oh, hello, hello, welcome, Hex. I can
Yes,
definitely
because
see that. Yeah. Sorry, go on, go on.
it's like you're promising a friend to draw something for them, and it's like, okay, I promised my friend here, I don't want to break that promise, so I'm going to really pull through to and finish this Inktober.
Mm. A promise to yourself is definitely a lot easier to be like, oh, it's fine. Like I will give myself a day off, kind of a deal, but not really if it's someone else.
Yeah.
I like that too.
I mean,
Yeah.
I did give myself a day off, and I got really behind then.
Did it become more than one day?
Yeah.
This is, yeah.
Well, it was like 2 days. I didn't really say no because my little sister was asking everyone to come and join her for a dinner.
Hmm.
So I couldn't be the only asshole in the family and say no, I can't because I have this art thing going on.
I
So
have
I'm
this
like, yeah,
Inktober thing,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Do you like? Does that mean like in general? Do you tend to look forward to Inktober, or like you do any preparation beforehand? Maybe think about the stuff you want to do, because I know a lot of prompts like sort of come out maybe like a couple weeks beforehand.
Yeah. So this one was more of a spontaneous thing.
Oh, okay.
Uh, because I used to try and do Inktober like several times.
Mhm.
The only time I really ever managed to do this was 2017. Uh, and that was because I was obsessed with Yuri on Ice.
Ah,
And
what a
I was
time.
like, I want, also, I was like, I want to get better with like, uh, drawing anatomy in certain angles.
Mhm.
So I would watch figure skaters. I would watch figure skaters and just, redraw their poses and stuff like that. But what motivated me was for sure the Twitter community there. Because I would often tweet about how, oh my god, I don't think I can do this anymore because it's like it's been 2 weeks
Mm.
and I'm so far behind. But some of them will be like, no, Faye, you can do this. You can finish it.
You
You're
can push
halfway
through.
done.
Yeah.
They're like cheering me on. So I'm like, okay, okay.
Yeah. No,
So
that's true. Yeah.
yeah, and then I tried doing Inktober again after I finished that year's Inktober, and I couldn't do it because I lost the motivation halfway through. So I'm like, you know what? I don't think I'll ever do Inktober again. But then here I am. I did Inktober again just because.
What drew you back this time? Was it that sense of
Ah,
community?
it I'm gonna tell you.
Oh,
It was
okay.
the price for I think it was like a grimoire or a
Oh,
genie.
cool. Okay, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
look,
so I was like,
that's the
okay,
point.
I'm gonna get one of those again. So let's go.
I love that. Okay, that's great. That's what we want to hear. Like the stuff that we do, we want to be encouraging artists and just more beautiful creations. And if you came along for that, that's exactly what we would love to
Yes.
have done.
Yeah,
Did you have
and it
any?
really helped because um Inktober made me realize um line art is not my enemy.
It can be your friend. It is possible to like it.
Yes.
Did you have any particular piece that you were very proud of during this recent one that you want to show us?
Mm, oh yeah, that would be, I think, the one that I did for STX Netsi and Ligaratus.
Let's see
Those
if we can
I think
find.
those were like my favorite.
Would you happen to have a link, or we'll see if YH can find it. I just would love for us to have a look at it. Figure artist. We'll
Wait,
see if we can.
what's Ligaratus Twitter handle again? I need that for.
I think you can just search for Liga.
I'll find it for a bit.
Wait.
Yeah, but there's an underscore, so that's why. I y'all continue. I'm a show the pic the picture real quick.
That's cool. Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see if YH can find. I just wanted would love to see like what kind of piece that you were really proud of during Inktober. I do like to ask artists like they create a lot of pieces, and so if there is something they want to focus on, I love to look at that stuff. But that's really cool. There's like a lot of I've noticed like there's a really like obviously as being part of Junie, there's a really big uptick in a lot of communities just to do and create more art. And if you're part of that, that's fantastic. I've had a lot of people mention your name to me before. This is only the first time I'm getting to see your work, so it's very cool. I'll be sure to pop
Oh.
on and and follow. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you go check her out on Twitter. She has a whole link tree there as well. If you want to go check out a lot of her work, it's at Fayrina. Fayrina? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Exactly like that.
Gorgeous. Is that the one?
Yes, that's the one.
That is actually really cool. I love the sticker aesthetic in the background too.
Yeah, I wanted to have like a somewhat of a theme with the Inktober so that it's like a collective basically, so that it's recognizable that they're part of like a challenge.
I think YH was looking at just like Ice's one before, and I was like, okay, yeah, I can see it. I can see it. This is very cool. I'll be sure to take a look through it. Is there like a particular place I can go to take a look at your Inktober collection, or is it just on Twitter at the moment? I can just scroll through a section.
At the moment, it's currently on Twitter.
Mhm.
I was planning to mint them all, but you know, gas.
Oh yeah, gas
is
has been a
like
bit
really
nasty.
being difficult.
Wow, look at this one. That's great.
Like they're all linked together in like a quote link.
Oh,
that it's
cool. Okay,
easier
then that's
for
very
people
very
to
easy.
just click on the quote.
Okay. Oh, and yep, Venaric is pointing out she does have an art book of them for sale on Amazon as well. YH, if you have a chance, could you grab us the links for both? Chuck them in the chat. That's so cool. Look at that. Your work is gorgeous. Wow, I can't believe that I've heard your name before, but I have not had a chance to really flick through it. But I definitely will give that a shot. YH, did you want to jump into another question? If your connection's not rugging you. He's lagging a little bit.
This one
So.
too.
Oh yeah, you're
wait,
good.
no, it is kind of rugged. Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Not a problem. So yeah, look, we obviously wanted to check in with you and Inktober because it was a little recently. I don't want to talk about the fact that it's suddenly December and we're talking about Christmas before in the pre-show. But is there any particular like, I guess, motivation or thing that drives you to be streaming on Twitch? Do you like prefer to, I guess like I've heard from artists who say that it keeps them accountable, or do you just love to showcase like your process? Like, why do you stream on Twitch?
It is fun
Mhm.
to stream on Twitch. I do like chatting with the chat, and also sometimes we do get distracted once in a while.
Yeah.
But it it's also like it also helps me keep accountable, like the other artists say, because it's like I have a set schedule, and they have to keep it. So it's also like a promise to myself, and it's also how I keep productive in the end. So yeah,
Yeah, that's fair.
it
Like
really helps.
I like the fact that there is like a category for it, and there are people obviously drawing and stuff like that. We do have that thing here in Junie. If you wanted to draw stuff in our artsy channel, like that is part of the I guess like the drawer. Is that you can create stuff with an audience, and I do find that it does keep people accountable. I know a lot of gamers tend to do this as well because they're like, oh, I'm gonna make sure I stick to this goal that I have, and I assume it's a similar sort of process for art. Do you find that like when you draw with an audience, is that different from just drawing like by yourself?
Yeah, because I can ask the audience for advice.
Oh, okay,
I
yeah,
can be
yeah.
like, oh, do you guys like this, or should I do something with this? And yeah, usually they would like give advice, and we would also be like listening to the same music and just vibing together, and I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
tell some random stories that happened in my life. The thing is, I also would like, well, not just would, but I also do stream on Junie once in a while.
Hmm.
If I like have time in the morning on my end,
Hmm.
I do stream sometimes, and the thing is, if I stream on Junie, I feel like I would bother people if I talk.
Oh,
So
okay, okay.
because there are also other people streaming, right?
Mm.
So I just, keep quiet, and it's kind of different when I'm streaming on Twitch. But also at the same time, I feel like I got so used to talking on Twitch
It's a bit
that
odd to be quiet.
yeah, it's really strange to be just, really super quiet and just chatting with by typing. Cuz uh I feel like if I'm talking, it's uh it still keeps me in the focus area whenever I'm drawing. Because if I chat back and type back, I kind of like, move back and forth.
Mm.
And yeah,
And you're like you switch from like from stylus to
yeah,
to a
from
keyboard, of
keyboard.
course. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and also I have to like click on like the message and yeah, write it out. Yeah.
Okay, no, that's an interesting piece of difference. Like I can imagine, like if you really wanted to just draw, I assume like the artsy channel is a good place. I remember when I we had some other artists. I think earlier on during our projects, we had just a bunch of artists that would just chat while they like using voice or stream themselves like IRL. So
Mm.
I can definitely say that it's you're certainly welcome to if you like if you do want to just chat. I don't think it's too bad
Yeah,
at all.
yeah,
But of course, if you do want to treat it a little bit differently, like if your Twitch stream is the place where you interact very directly with your audience, you want to be chatting about random stuff during your day or just asking directly for feedback, and then you want to treat the Artsy channel as a more like a more quiet, more peaceful place to draw. Absolutely, anything
yeah.
that we can do to give you a place to showcase your work, I think is definitely the goal there.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be great.
I love that.
I
No.
definitely I'm planning. I always wanted to like stream more on Artsy.
Mhm.
It's just, time
Yeah, it
is
sounds
really
like you
hard to
don't
come
have
by.
too much to spare at the moment. Between I can't believe that you work a 9 to 5 as well as keep this ridiculous schedule up.
Well, I wouldn't say it's like a 9 to 5. It's more like uh in the morning it's just, small web 2 jobs that I got from freelancing,
Hmm.
and that's basically the time slot I dedicate to web 2 works, and also like my bookkeeping stuff and
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay,
other various things.
that's fair.
So
That's fair.
it's kind of hard to like find a slot in the morning so that I can just stream on Artsy. And yeah, because late my sleep schedule, as I mentioned, is really messed up.
Oh.
So sometimes I would sleep like 2 hours and then work and then sleep again for like 4 hours.
Goodness. Okay, I thought you
Because
meant just like you sleep at a funny time, not that it's broken up. Are you okay, Faye? Make sure to take care of
it's
yourself.
it is broken up. I do take like small naps here and there.
Okay.
It's just, you know it's just how it is.
Okay. Look, if it works for you and you're fine, that's all good. Definitely not.
Yes.
Like I have a very odd sleep schedule too, but I just sleep 8 hours, but it just happens to start at 5 a.m.
It's just
um,
for me, I've been working so before COVID, I would always wake up at like 6 a.m. so that I can catch my train to get to work,
mm,
which was like my 9 to 5 back then.
yeah.
And I've been waking up at 6 a.m. ever since I started, let's just say, I think it was middle school here.
Mhm.
So I'm so used to like getting 6 to 4 hours of sleep that my body just automatically wakes up after 4 hours, and I
Oh,
have to
okay.
force myself to sleep those 2 hours again. So
I see. That's sort of how it came about. Okay, so it sounds like a pretty regular
Yeah.
thing for you, as long as you're obviously functioning.
Yes.
It's definitely true. Like I guess,
As long as it works, it works.
I guess like being awake
It's
at
morning. It's morning somewhere in the
it's
world.
morning somewhere in the. Oh man, we have like I work a lot with other people from Europe as well, which is why when you said it's like at a ridiculous time for you, I'm like, you're in Europe, aren't you? You're right. It is always morning somewhere in the world. GM is always relevant somewhere. You just tweet it.
Yes.
Look, I reckon that's one of the nice things is like you will catch someone who is like as sleep deprived as you or is in the middle of their morning coffee. Like for example, when we started this show, I had a coffee in hand. I'll finish it now, of course. But for me, it's morning, even though it's like 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So look, if you're functioning and that's great, that's really what we want to hear. We do love to hear that our artists are streaming at all different kinds, all different times. Sorry, and we're always seeing beautiful work come through, no matter what time of day it is. So thank you for being part of that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Um, are there any like I did want to ask maybe a bit of a like a slightly related question. Maybe before we round this out. What kind of I guess hardships or difficulties have you encountered so far in your long career as an artist? Is sleep one of them, for example?
Oh, yeah, sleep definitely. Um, I would say theft would be one of the annoying
Yeah.
things that happened.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, I just remembered from back when uh I was active in DeviantArt.
Mhm.
Uh, somebody somebody stole my artwork
Mhm.
and said it was theirs,
Mhm.
without taking off my watermark.
Ah,
Like
great.
a couple minutes after I posted my actual artwork, and I had to confront them and tell them, "Hey, can you take this down?" Um, I literally drew this artwork like a couple hours ago, and you're like, "No, I drew it."
Like,
And I'm like, "My watermark is right there. I can still see it." Yeah,
goodness. Okay. I also
they're a bit
don't understand
crazy.
the yeah, I don't understand like the motivation behind it. Like, is it just like a clout thing? But that is very frustrating, especially because you're a digital artist, of course. So this sort of
hmm
thing does tend to happen. Has it gotten better since those early days?
Yeah, because back then, I would draw, fan art, Homestuck fan art.
Mm,
Um, and fan art is usually the artworks that get stolen a lot.
right. Yeah.
But once you start drawing, original characters,
Yep.
they don't care anymore.
Yeah, you don't have the people who think that they can just grab someone's work. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can appreciate that. But look, it's good. Your original work obviously is gorgeous. So it does speak for
Thank
itself.
you.
But cool. Okay, that's like sort of the main one that you really have to deal with, which is okay nowadays. Especially I think the last like I don't want to say 20 years, but like the last 15 years or so, sort of looking at and working with digital art, I think it's gotten a lot better. Like people do appreciate the work that digital artists like go through and things that they create, compared to a while back. So hopefully you are seeing that recognition now.
Mm, yeah, it's social media. The algorithm is a little bit strange, but it's getting there.
Speaking of, like, do you post like you're obviously very active on Twitter, but are there other platforms that you do like to be on? Like, how do you manage? Not how do you manage it? How do you treat each one?
Um,
Yeah, like tell us about that.
I do post mostly on like Instagram and TikTok
Hmm.
because I don't I I find it I find their algorithm easier to understand
Okay.
than Twitter's, because for Twitter it's basically it relies on retweets, right?
Yes.
Um so unless you're like a either a really big artist
Mhm.
or a fan artist, it's hard to get um traction on Twitter basically.
Mm.
Because uh, I, as an NFT artist, I'm pretty sure a lot of other artists or, you know, um, just Twitter users in general, I'm pretty sure they blocked me and
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
other NFT artists as well,
Oh, really?
just
Yeah.
because I post NFTs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've been in a couple block lists before, and I
That's
don't know.
That's really unfortunate. Like, obviously we are and we have an NFT collection. We work in the Web3 space, but like,
Mm-hmm.
I've also had a lot of difficulty sort of talking to different artists. Like the second you mention anything to do with like what we do, they have this
Mm-hmm.
almost like almost like the bullfighting like red vision as soon as you mention it.
Yeah.
And you want to just say like, hey, we're just here to enjoy the art. We're not like whatever you think we are.
Mm-hmm.
And like the reality of it is like people who really like art, who are into NFTs, I feel like this may be a bit of bias showing, but I feel like we appreciate art even like to a greater degree because we're very happy to, I guess, monetarily support a lot of artists like this way. And so like
Mm-hmm.
part of our mission, I guess, is to push that sort of narrative, push that, you know, art is great. We want to see more artists like you, like yourself, Faye, and we think that this technology is a good way for you to deal with it. But I also agree. I'm not agree. I also have seen there's just a lot of um, misinformed opinions about it. So thank you for
Yeah.
dealing with that as well.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like a lot of hate uh stems from either people who found out about NFTs like I don't know during the I wouldn't say it's during the bull market, but
The craziness, yeah,
yeah, I think it's mostly when NFTs were still like when Ethereum was still you know how do I say this? Not green.
like
Before
new.
the
Yeah.
fork,
Oh, before the fork,
basically.
yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So with the environmental thing,
Mm,
you know, that was their biggest argument. It it harms the environment,
yeah,
this and that. Um and because I do whenever I stream on Twitch, sometimes I would talk about NFTs too,
yep.
and some viewers would see it and they would talk about it, but they are never like hateful. They were more curious about it.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
So I would explain that, and yeah, it's it's not as it's not as hate filled as on Twitter, because sometimes I would see like Twitter comments about hating NFT artists,
Yeah.
and also I would, for example, on TikTok, I would actually see you know the Elementals
Hmm. Oh, the
from
trailer.
Azuki, the
Yeah.
trailer.
Yep. Yep.
I would see people repost the trailer
Yep.
and be like, in the comments they'll be like, "Oh my god, cool new anime. When is this going to go out?" And then I would read the replies and be like, "Oh, this is an NFT project." And then the hate comments
Oh,
starts
yeah.
coming in, and then be
Yeah.
like, "You guys were so hyped about this a couple seconds ago. Are you guys okay?"
Yeah. No, I've seen that too. Literally, like that same probably that same set of comments that you saw that I saw as well. Just this is so cool. What is this? When is this? Oh, it's just for some NFT bros, and just like that didn't that didn't matter. Yeah, like 10 seconds ago when you didn't know that, you just enjoyed this piece for
Yeah,
what it was, and then now you have this whole different set of opinions because you've attached all these values that don't actually apply to it. So yeah, that was very unfortunate.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think that's like just something that we have to overcome, like something that we just work with. But the fact that we've had to deal with it is a little unfortunate. On a more personal level, like I also have had to deal with it too, so I definitely understand how you feel. Oh man,
Yeah,
speaking of,
it just be like that. I hope someday they're gonna calm down. But
hmm.
I feel like lately they're hating more on AI than NFTs anyway.
They have a new target to go. Oh, it's true. It's
Yeah.
true. Anytime there's a new piece of
So
technology.
we're like getting safe here. They're kind of forgetting us until the next bull run probably.
Yeah, and
And
then
then
they'll
they're
be
gonna come in flocks.
yep, that's yeah, that's I guess that's kind of how the cycle goes. I do remember like every time I think of different technology changes to like the space of art, it's always had some form like a section of haters. Like when photography first came out, the painters and artists were like, "Oh my god, but they're just going to take photos. Like, who wants to buy art?" It's like that's not how that works. Everyone's still going to appreciate your work. Don't worry about it.
Hmm.
Same thing with art is like AI art has been cool to look at, but no, we love to see hand drawn, commissioned like pieces, especially by artists like you.
Yeah. I think the problem with AI is just the moral because I also think AI is just a tool. It depends on what you do with it.
Hmm.
But a lot of the time, people don't really do much with it.
No, they just run the
If
prompt and
you
then
know
just
what
sort
I
of
mean?
post it. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. I think it's an interesting tool as well. I played with it as well, but at the end of the day, if I really want something done, I really want to appreciate something, I always prefer a hand drawn thing. I don't know if that makes me fancy. It's kind of like when you want to have like say like pasta, for example. Like, do you want it made in a machine, or do you want do you want a chef to make it by hand? Like, does it make a difference? I think it does,
Mm.
but all right.
It's like,
Oh, sorry,
it's
go on.
like asking your grandmother,
Oh, to
like,
make it.
if you want, like, your grandmother, if you want, like, something home cooked that was done by your grandmother. I'm, I'm saying I'm the grandmother in this,
You are
in this
not,
case,
but go on.
and all the other artists. You want something handmade with love by your grandma. Of course, you're going to appreciate it more because it's your grandma. Uh, uh, in comparison to like somebody who was working at the restaurant who did, I don't know, pasta dish that
Mhm.
your grandma also does. But for you, your grandmother's pasta will always be the best. You
That's
know,
true. Yeah.
something like that.
Something like made with love. You know what I mean? Like that's something you
Exactly.
can't just put that in a recipe. Like it has to be. Yeah. No, I get that. When you have I think ultimately when it comes to art, the biggest thing for me is that who it was made by and why it was made. Um, and if I have that story, if I have that connection, if I have talked to the artist to create a piece for me, or for example, I'm talking to you now, Faye, like I know a little bit more about where you've come from, what kind of art you create, why you create it, and some of the stuff that you've gone through to make it. It makes me appreciate it a lot more than if I just clicked on some picture that I saw on Instagram.
Yeah, it's also the connection. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Because I've also seen like you know, people say that they like uh following an artist's journey basically
Hmm.
uh to becoming art god.
To becoming art god.
Yeah.
I've heard.
Well, art god. There's only one art god, and we know it's Wulop.
It's oh well yeah Will of is kind of crazy. I can't believe like you know that they're godlike because your friends who are not into art know the name because they've seen
Yeah.
like the big like the thin font like text WLOP just like on art. Gorgeous stuff, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, like that. That's art god status.
Oh my gosh. All right. Look, Faye, it's been lovely. I think I could talk to you for like for a couple more hours, but I feel like do you normally go to sleep at this time or is this your weird wake up time?
Um, I usually sleep around this time
Okay, okay,
actually.
okay. That's fine. All right, we'll go ahead and start to close out the show. YH, did you want to ask anything before we close? See if your mic works.
I hope that I'm not lagging now.
You're good.
Please, please, please don't let me lag. Okay, nice. Well, since I was cover topics, I just want to cover on the side because there's this one thing that we didn't touch on because Faye did mention that anime inspired her to get into drawing. So what's your top anime? See, we kind of talked about it a bit, like way before this whole conversation went on. What's your top anime? And your
Uh,
and your top husbando and your top husbando as well.
oh, dude, why are you putting me on the spot like
There's a
this?
lot of questions he just threw at you. You're gonna be answering it.
I I'm trying to think which anime is really like my top tier. Oh wait, no, it's Madoka Magica.
Ah,
That's
yeah, okay.
that's such a good show.
Hmm.
I would always recommend that to someone to watch. Uh,
I gotta do it. I gotta do it. Gotta do it. Face is face thinking or am I lagging?
You're okay. You're okay. Go on.
I'm thinking. And top husbando, I don't know. I love so many husbandos. I have so many
You're
So
making me
husbandos.
many.
think. Just the first one then that pops into your head.
The first one.
Um,
The first one. The
UF
name that you think of
from
right away.
Cardcaptor Sakura. UF.
Wait, who? Bro? You?
From
UF
Cardcaptor.
from
Oh,
Cardcaptor.
okay, okay, okay.
That guy.
Can you pull? Do you want to pull up an image? Just so just our audience has as an idea. Card captor. UE.
Wait, how do I spell it?
Y
How do I
U
spell
E,
it?
right?
Yue. Y-U-E, yes.
Oh,
YUE
okay.
card captor. Of course. What a shoujo aesthetic. I love it.
Can't be helped.
Wait, you are
Card
from
captor.
what, from anime again?
Card captor.
Yeah, that one. That one.
This shit is some 2000 anime, bro. This shit's 2000. This is from 2000s. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah,
That's
GP,
that,
you're right with that.
that's
You're
my
right with that.
first husband.
Golden Fields would be in the chat. Hey, Golden.
Yo,
No, she's
the
very OG.
eyelashes, bro.
Mm.
The eyelashes, bro. Bro. Faye, you got good taste. You got good taste.
Excellent taste, of course. That's what happens when you work in art and you see the caliber of artwork that she does. The history does come from somewhere, and there's the taste.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you do pick up some stuff from your favorites.
Any particular things from this particular character? No, I'm just curious now that you said that.
Ayo,
Like from
ayo, ayo.
you drew some stuff. You drew some inspiration from this character for any of your works.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Okay.
Definitely the long white hair and the blue eyes
Oh yeah.
is a trait for one of my characters.
Mhm.
He's also in like the cover,
Mm.
but not the personality.
Oh, okay. Look, that's a bit that's a bit different. We love to look at the aesthetics, so understandable.
Yes.
All right. Faye, would you like to give us any last closing thoughts? Anything you want to share with Junie and the Juice audience before we let you go?
Keep creating, and try to get some sleep.
Two very, very wise sentiments to live by, guys. Okay, thank you so much, Faye, for joining us here on The Juice. It's been absolutely lovely to have you. Hope we do get to have another chat just so we can go through more of your work and showcase it off to the world.
Thank you.
Of course. Guys, be sure to follow her on Twitter. It's at Fayrina. She's also got a link tree, I believe, on her Twitter profile. Let me just double check that I'm
let
saying.
me drop it. Let me
we'll
drop it real quick.
we'll
Yeah,
drop some
I
stuff
think there's
there.
one.
Yeah, there is. Wonderful. Yeah, it's her
Yeah.
card. It's not Linktree, it's card.co. Go ahead and check out all of her work. There is a lot all over the place, especially links over on Amazon, and you can read her webtoon as well. It's wow, that was a fantastic episode. I hope you get some sleep, Faye, and get some good rest,
Thank you.
and continue to
Almost
create
there.
the lovely work that you do. Thanks very much for having us, guys.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. Have a nice evening or morning.
Or no matter where you are, GM or GN. See you later, guys.
Yes. Goodbye.
See ya.